Look at the charming night skies. The most common question we may ask is, are we here alone? When searching for life, scientists look for a sign of liquid water. Without the water, there is no life as we know it. Almost 60% of our body is water. Sometimes we look for water which maybe used to be there. So we are searching for life which maybe used to be there. Mars visit dried out rivers. Do you see a planet behind Mars? A blue planet. We need not to look for water. It's there. And great life is there. 2 years ago, one of my friends showed me a book with strange name, Let There Be Water, by Seth Siegel. The book starts with a warning that less than in a decade, 20% of the world population, some 1.5 billion of people, will have no or very limited access to fresh water. Millions of people will be forced to move to find water in order to simply survive. Something here does not work. Look again at this blue planet, our planet Earth. What could be wrong with it? Plenty of water. Water covers more than 70% of the surface. There should be enough water for everybody. But not all the water is in form we can use for our life. We cannot drink salt water, but 97.5% of all the water on our planet is salty. Less than 1% is fresh water we can actually use. And most of this is stored underground. And even worse, the fresh water is not spread equally around the globe. The red color indicates very dry places. Now, planet Earth doesn't look to be so friendly. And so what we can expect in the near future to come? At least 3 things. First, the world population keeps growing. By 2050, it will reach some 9.5 billion of people. When I was in school, there was only 4 billion, and it seems to us already a little bit overcrowded. The living standard is rising fast, which generally means much higher consumption of fresh water. Only those 2 factors makes global consumption of water steadily growing. And the amount available of fresh water is not growing. Second, what's the problem? It's climate change. Regardless of the cause, it brings at least 2 things. The surface temperature is rising, which causes much higher and faster evaporation of the water from the land surface, which means less water for rivers, lakes, fields, less water to refill our underground water storages. Third, water pollution. More and more we are poisoning our existing freshwater resources by excess of fertilizers, pesticides, antibiotics, and other biological and chemical stuff. On many places around the world, the fresh water is disappearing or is not drinkable anymore. Millions of people are facing dark water future. They are, or they will be, at the wrong place at the wrong time. If we do not come with a solution, those people will have only one choice: to move somewhere where they can find more water. Moving 100 million of people around the globe, well, where to? Most probably somebody else is already living there. Should they fight for limited water resources? Should we build the walls to keep them away? We're lucky. We live in a nice place, in a green Europe, in the Czech Republic, with a lot of clean, fresh water. We are safe. Are we really safe? The Czech Republic is a roof of Europe. there are no rivers coming into Czech Republic. All our rivers originated in our country and flows away from our country. We have no access to a big lake, sea, or ocean. We have only two sources of the water, rain and snow. Look at some changes which have happened within the last 30 years due to climate change. Winter. Slow melting snow for several months, as it used to be. Today, fast melting snow or no snow at all. Summer. Long-lasting gentle rain, as it used to be. Today, mostly heavy fast rain. The water is flushed away. All of this causes that water is not retained in our country, but flow fast away from our country. How do we stand in Europe regarding fresh water reserve per capita? Maybe a surprise. We are third worst, just after the island of Cyprus and Malta. We are getting dried out. The world is facing water scarcity, and Czech Republic is not anymore such safe place as it looked like before. Should we put signs around our country? Stop, not enough water even for us. Let me go back to the book Let There Be Water. The book proposes this another way. Have a look at one small piece of the land in one of the driest regions on the planet Earth. It should have a significant water scarcity problem, but opposite is true. This land was able to manage its scarce resources in such a way that now it has more water than needed, and it's even able to supply its neighboring countries as well. In the satellite picture, you can see the border of State of Israel in green. It has really limited water resources. Its population has grown 10 times since the founding of the state in 1948. Constantly rising living standard. Agriculture is booming. There is actually less rain than it was in 1948. What's the secret? Can we learn something? The key element of Israel's success was the absolute involvement of top leaders and politicians of the country in water future security. If leaders care and act, so do ordinary people, scientists, businesses, agriculture. Water became the national priority and treasure. First task was to make more food for more people, but with less water. Almost 70% of the fresh water is used in agriculture. The answer was introduction of drip irrigation. Simple idea. A plastic tube with special hole in it to bring water directly where needed and in proper quantity. Drop-by-drop irrigation saves a huge amount of water and in the same time increase the crop yield. With the same amount of the water, you can produce up to 5 times more agricultural products. Now, Israel exports not only many kinds of its agricultural products, but it exports its drip irrigation technology and know-how to more than 140 countries around the world. Second task was not to let used water from households and businesses flow useless to Mediterranean Sea. Simple answer, clean it and reuse it. Israel has built a special pipeline network of recycled water around the country and used it for the agriculture. Almost 90% of the wastewater is used and treated for the recycling of the water. The purple colored pipes indicates recycled water. Third task was to become independent from the rain or Jordan River sources of water. The solution was to use endless source of the water. Salt water from Mediterranean Sea and desalinated. Israel was able to push down cost of desalination at market acceptable level. Now, Israel produced desalinated water in amount equal to 70% of domestic household use. All of this has been supported by extremely strong Israeli innovation and a startup environment, which has helped save water, indicate and minimize losses in water network, clean water, reuse water. Israel was able to cooperate on this with other countries. Solving water scarcity problem actually brings a business very interesting opportunities and possibilities for this cooperation among the countries. No war for water, but mutually advantageous cooperation is the key. After reading about all those problems with water scarcity, I knew I shouldn't only read about it, but I should do something. I decided to publish this book, Let There Be Water in Czech, invite the author to talk about water, meet regular people, experts, students, politicians, and look for solutions. 3 months after the book was published in Czech, we agreed with Czech Minister of Environment to fly together to Israel to meet Israeli Minister of Environmental Protection. We have been trying to significantly enhance cooperation between Israel and Czech in water fields. I do believe that Czech Republic can and should take a part in searching of water scarcity solution, since even smaller country like Israel has been already successfully doing it for many years. There are many areas we can focus on. For example, one of the major threats for fresh water are our human activities which pollute or poison our existing water sources. When you have a 100 piece of beef meat for lunch, remember about 1,000 bottles of fresh water like this one needed to produce this meat. 50 years ago, the world consumption of meat was 78 million tons a year. Today, it's more than 300 million tons a year. 4 times more. Till 2050, this amount will even double. Low living standard generally equal to low consumption of meat. Today, hundreds of millions of poor people are moving into middle class. It's great news. But in the same time, it pushes meat consumption skyrocket, and it will create a huge problem for our fresh water. How to make the world consumption of meat not rising so dangerously? Keep those poor people away from eating more meat, or to significantly lower our Western appetite for meat. Actually, this could be your task to find a solution. Another major threat for our fresh water is its poisoning by our growing addiction to pharmaceuticals and personal care products. Only in the Czech Republic, we consume 260 million of pill boxes every year. We swallow a pill, and only 20% of the active medicine is used by our body. The rest, 80%, goes from our body unused to a toilet, like this. This dangerous cocktail continues to flow to our rivers, lakes, seas. It is used in agriculture to grow our food. You will find it in the fish we eat. We are successfully poisoning ourselves. Do not waste the time by waiting for miracles. Unlike earthquake, hurricane, or tsunami, we still have many years to prepare ourselves for losing our fresh water. Who, if not you, can challenge the politicians to act and care? And if they do not, be a politician yourself who cares and acts. Who, if not you, can work on new water recycling, cleaning, and saving technologies? Who, if not you, can let your imagination work on ideas how people and countries can cooperate on resolving water scarcity problems rather than fight for water? A blue planet can still be a nice place to live for everybody. Thank you.